What's going on, everybody? We are back. Patch 12.14. We have them in a snapshot. We're going to be going over every single composition and how to play them, but the two main comps right now are Corki comps and Aurelion Sol comps. So we're going to go over a little bit of a bug, which is happening with Astral when we get there, but that's why they're in the S tier right now. It's up to you if you want to kind of do that or not. I personally wouldn't do it personally. It doesn't really make you a better player, but there is a bug with Astrals right now, which is why they are the best. Cannoneer Corki, any variation of Corki will do. Like, it's pretty much Corki plus tank is the next best thing, and then Jade is pretty solid. Maybe Jade goes into A plus S minus tier, but they're very close. In the A tier, we have Whispers with Elise carry, Mirage Daeja, and Fast Nining with AO Shin. And then in the B tier, oh yeah, also notice that, guys, like S and A tiers, there's only 6 comps. This is like the first time this has happened in like a couple of sets, I believe. But in the B tier, we have Olaf, Nami, Mage Syfen, Bruiser, Varus, Xayah, Swain, Reroll, Yone, Talon, Revel, Cannoneer. This is not in any particular order in the B tier. There's just a lot of, like, you don't really need to pay attention to anything after A tier in this type of meta. It's mainly just the top 6 comps, and like you could probably play those in 95% of your games, if not 99 or 100. But there are other options if you get like amazing starts with them. C tier is pretty big this time. There are a lot of unplayables, or what I would consider unplayable. So Shapeshifter Nidalee, Legend Volibear, Guild Ryze, Dragonmancer Lee Sin, Sett Reroll, like pretty much all the rerolls at the bottom are like, I would just avoid them right now, the ones that are listed here. They're just really not that good after the last patch. There's a pretty big patch that changed a lot of things up, and they're just not up to code compared to all the guys up there. So going on into the comps, Astral first and foremost. Well, so you play 6 Astral, you roll for them, get like allow a 3-star to stabilize really hard. Nami 3-star can do a lot of work as well. And then you can get Aurelion Sol pretty easily with all the Astrals. And then what you can do is toggle in and out 9 Astral and get a ton of rewards. So what you do is you reroll the game with 6 Astrals, just play regular. And then late game, put in 9 Astrals, roll to get the rewards, then swap 6 Astrals back in really quickly. It does require some APM, so all the jokes a month ago about APM are actually like kind of valid right now. And then just put any items on Astral. They're all like pretty decent. Pretty much AP is what you want. Obviously, Mage Cap is really good. Archangels is probably the best non-like special item. And then Gunblade's good for healing, because he just ends up dealing a lot of damage later on in the game and just heals back up to full every time. I don't know if they're banning for this bug. They say they will, but like so many people are using it. I don't know if you could just ban everyone. But it's a personal decision whether or not you go for that, I guess. Corki Cannoneer, arguably just as strong because you don't need to rely on getting legendaries or playing legendaries. You just need Corki and then a 2-star dragon tank. So some people use Syfen, and some people do damage Syfen, some people do tank Syfen. And then other people are still using Idas. I've seen people use Shio as well. So literally any 2-star 4-cost dragon in the front line is going to be good for you. And then you just run Corki in the back and just put in the other units. So with Syfen, you like Silas because it gives Bruiser and Whisper. And then you put the tank items on Silas. Corki, Rageblade, Giant Slayer, Hodge. He could use pretty much any damage item. Like, I've seen Static Shivs good on him. Infinity Edge, Deathblade even, Last Whisper. Any item, it's going to be working good on Corki. He uses almost anything. Sonya is going to be your support with Umbrella Namicon, and then you have Lulu, Tristana for the Namzi, and Tristana gives Cannoneer as well. Lulu and Bard give Mystic, and then Sona for the Evoker. And you also get the Revel from her too, so there are a lot of good synergies there. So next comp is the old comp. It's the one with Idas, so we're going to skip over this one because we already went over this one a bunch. But yeah, it's pretty much just standard leveling. Go for Corki, play anything else around him, and you are good to go. Next build we have is the Jade carry comp. This one hasn't really changed much. It's just Shio carry, and Shio has just always been very strong recently. Nico, very important component as well. Some people, I've seen 3-star in Nivea's. You don't need it, but it's like pretty solid as well as like a backup. But focus mainly on your Nico and Shio. Those are going to be like your bread and butter for this comp. You could round the comp out with literally any type of support units or late game units, as the core of the build is really just Nico and Shio. Next build up we have in the A tier is Elise Reroll. I think Elise is better than like full on relying on Syfen. Elise items being Quicksilver, Rageblade, and Bloodthirster. She uses very similar items to Sy'phen. You could also do like Archangel Staff on Elise. I think this is actually like a pretty underrated comp right now because not too many people are going for Elise, and she is actually like decently strong right now. You don't have to play 4 Bruiser or 6 Whispers. You can mix and match this a little bit, adding in like random units that are just strong to support your team. So you could get rid of Shen, you could get rid of Ornn, you could get rid of Thresh. It really depends on what you're hitting that game and if you could reach like the late game spike. I include these units here because it's pretty cheap and pretty easy to play because you could just go for like the only Whispers and only Bruisers. Next build up, we have the Mirage build. So Mirage, it really depends on what Mirage it is. We have like a little like cheat sheet down here that you can kind of look at. But Daeja carry pretty good, and Nunu is like a great tank in this build, especially if you get like Dawnbringer. I actually think Nunu carries more games than Daeja, even though I like Daeja a lot. It's kind of a weird dynamic, so to speak. But I have the Mirage version here as well as the Cavalier one, so you could pick and choose whichever one you prefer. It really depends on what items you're getting, what units you're getting, and what Mirage it is. So do pay attention to that in your game and try to like adapt within it. Next build up, we have the Aoshin Tempest build. This is like the fast 9ing build. And Aoshin, I've seen work with Mage Cap. I've seen work with like regular items. Sylas is going to be your main tank. Sylas is just, I think he's just one of the best tanks in the game right now. I think every comp we won over, he's like in there in some in some weird form, except for the Jade comp. But yeah, pretty simple comp. You just play Aoshin, you play a bunch of the legendaries. You have the 3 mages, which is really nice for Heimerdinger and Zoe. So you get a lot of utility out of those. And then Lulu Bard's just like the generic late game additions, because this comp, you really only care about Aoshin, and then you just play as many other units as you can after that. Next build up, we have the B tier. So B tier, a little worse than they normally are, I would say. Normally, I'm like B tier, like play them maybe like 5% of the time each comp or something like that, or like somewhere around there. It depends on like what type of player you are. But I'd say it's like really low playtime. Like just focus on the A and up tier, like A and S tier. We'll go over these comps anyways, but it's like nothing really has changed too much here because no one's really playing them. You're just focusing on the other guys. Olaf reroll is like okay. Mage's Nami carry, you reroll this one at level 6. This one's weird because like, is this the Astral comp? Is this a Mage comp? I always considered this more of a Mage comp. That's why I made a new entry for Astrals in case you guys were curious. But everyone's taking Namis right now and Alawis, so be careful when going for the Mage build. You probably have to bug abuse and do the Astral version. Bruiser, Mage, Sy'phen. This one is going to be just like a generic Sy'phen build. Sy'phen's still decent. You just want to play Corki with it. This build just never had Corki because Corki wasn't broken in the previous patches that I last updated this in. And yeah, but like Sy'phen's still good, still perfectly fine to play in other comps. Varus Bruiser, this runs again into the other Astral problem. I should honestly put this into C tier. So my bad, I moved him down there. I don't know why that slipped. Xayah Ragewing or Guild Xayah, man. I've seen a lot more 6 Ragewing Xayahs. I think that's like the main build right now. It's not the best. Like Xayah had her time of dominance the entirety of the set so far, so I guess it's okay if she's like not good for one patch. They're probably going to be fixing her or like nerfing Corki so that they're more in line with each other. But if you're playing 4-cost carry, it's mainly just Corki. Just like Xayah's like the backup type of player or type of champion. So Swain Dragonmancer, this one is actually a little interesting. I think Swain, you just need Rageblade, but it's a really good scaling comp. I think this is actually one of the better B tier comps right now, because a lot of the 3-cost units are being taken out of the pool, and Swain is like one of the more playable ones. Like Volibear, so bad. You don't want to do Volibear reroll, but Swain's actually like decent. I guess that's another reason why Elise is pretty popular right now, because all the 3-costs are being taken out of the pool because people are going for Astrals, but Swain, I guess it's pretty solid. It's nothing to like write home about, but it's a decent build. 6 Dragonmancer is definitely what you want to do here, and you want to reroll for Swain at level 7. Oh, by the way, if you guys wanted more details on how to play the comps, all the info that we're going over here is available on my website at bunnymuffins.lol/meta. So bookmark that or do whatever you want with it in case you guys wanted to like spend more time with the looking at the builds. Yone Reroll. I've seen a lot of different versions of Yone Reroll. This one is with the Guardians. You don't always get the Guardians. So some people go the Warrior version instead, where you play 4 Warrior. Both versions are equally valid. It just depends what you're hitting in that game. I like running the like heavy on the Mirage. It depends on the trait though, so you do have to watch out for that. It has to be one that benefits Yone. So if it's one of the tank ones or something like that, like probably not as good. But any of the ones that buff up Yone's like attack speed or damage or AP, that's going to be really what you want. Onto the next build, we have Talon Assassin. It's actually like, I think, an underrated comp. The reason why is because a lot of people are playing Corki, and Corki is weak to backline access. So you could play a bunch of assassins and kind of kill them quickly, because people normally do like Sona, Bard, Corki, Lulu in the backline, and they don't really put people behind to defend everyone. So sometimes your assassins can jump over and kind of kill some people before they really get going. So that is one of the things you could do with like this comp or any assassin comp in general. It is like decent against the Corki builds. But like if you're playing 4-cost carry, like playing Corki is better against literally everything else, so there's not too much reason to go for this. I'm gonna put the Cannoneer Revel build. This was like one of the earlier Sett builds up into the B tier, because I think Cannoneers are just really good right now, and that's why Corki is so dominant. But I have seen some 3-star Tristana rerolls, and you could always just itemize Corki as well and just play him with other other units that aren't like the ones in the S tier. So it's still pretty playable. Tristana is pretty decent on her own as well, especially as like a mid-game carry. That's pretty much it for the B tier. In the C tier, like we already went over all these comps. Like you just really don't want to play them. I'm not sure what value I can give you guys by going over this. But again, if you guys really want to play these comps, they're on my website at bunnymuffins.lol. I hope they do fix the Aurelion Soul thing, because yeah, it's just like by far one of the things that a lot of people are kind of abusing, and I don't think that should be like a thing. They said they fixed the Astral bug in the recent patch, I believe, or the patch before, I forget which, but apparently it like didn't go through properly, so that's why we're in this position. But hopefully they are able to fix it eventually. There are other builds that could be on this list, such as like Shyvana builds, but I find that they're not played as much as all the other comps we have out there right now. So it's like you're going for like Xayah and then you just drop in a Shyvana, or you're going for Swain and then you drop in a Shyvana late game. It's kind of like more of the late game caps of those other teams. I don't think it's like as consistent as the other builds we have here. So in case you guys were wondering about that, that's why it's not on like the main list here. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I am back from vacation now, so I do expect to like pump out more content, probably hopefully stream a little bit, and essentially just get back into my old schedule. What happened before, I feel like you guys should have an explanation, is that I went on vacation for like a week, got COVID, and then after I recovered from COVID, I had another vacation. So, and that one was for 3 weeks. So pretty much I was just out for like a month and a half or something like that because of, yeah, because of that. I like planned during the time I had COVID to like do extra work so you guys have videos throughout the vacation. And I also plan to like record a bunch of stuff on the vacation, but I just got too busy, so that's why we've been out of that stuff there. But we're back now, so hopefully everything should be back to normal. But thanks so much for watching, guys, as always, and I hope to see you all later. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.